All right, people. So I just want to talk about the fact here of, of the whole notion in the media. Now, I was watching 60 Minutes, and this is what I mean, notion in the media. The media is kind of pushing this narrative. So I'm watching 60 Minutes with Trump on, and they're like, there's been a lot of incidents of Trump supporters being racist and sexist and homophobic and whatnot. I'm like, what? I mean, are we living in a, backwards opposite universe here? Because I've been seeing quite the opposite. I've been seeing quite the opposite of these so-called just peaceful Trump protesters who are, supposedly they're just protesters, but people are finding Craigslist ads, talking about how these protesters are being paid, and these these protesters. I use that term very, very lightly. Who are a lot of them, not all of them, but a lot of them are. First off, you're in the fucking streets. That's my point. If you're in the streets, it's not a protest because that's blocking traffic, which is not legal. That's not a legal protest. They're also vandalizing shit, hurting people. But you won't see that on the media, will you? All you hear about, like when they ask Trump, well, a lot of your supporters are doing this and that. And like I'm watching and they show a 2-second video of a Trump supporter like in high school or something saying white power. Okay, first off, that doesn't mean he's racist because he could have just been joking. That's things people do. The media doesn't understand that. Is if you make a joke about race or whatever the hell, you use a word, oh, you're racist. I mean, they use that term so fucking lightly. Anybody that doesn't believe in their liberalism, in their viewpoints, is deemed. They have a word for everything. I gotta say though, they've been throwing around the word racist so loosely, and they called Trump racist because he, they say, oh, he hates Muslims or he hates Mexicans, so he's racist. Well, first off, that's not racist, and it really baffles me that it seems like the left loves to create terms that, like racist, sexist, homophobic, misogynistic, xenophobic. They love to create terms like that. So I'm very surprised. I'm very shocked that they haven't created a term. New terms out of Trump, because they say he hates Muslims and they call that racist. I'm surprised they haven't, and that's not correct, by the way. That's not the correct definition of racism. So I'm surprised they haven't created a new word for Trump hating Muslims and Mexicans and all these things they claim. But they're saying that Trump supporters are, they're, like I said, going back to the video of the guy saying white power for 2 seconds. Like I said, it could be just a joke, Somebody could have been, hey, you're a racist, you hate all blacks, and just as a joke, he was like, yeah, white power, just joking around. I mean, like I said, people joke around. The media you can't joke around. Anytime you joke around, or you're just having a good time, you're not being politically correct. You're deemed an ism or a homophobic or whatever the fuck. Like with the Trump video from 11 years ago. He's like, they let you grab you, but, they let you kiss them and grab them by the pussy and shit like that. Like I said, you just can't joke around. You can't joke around and have a good time. So we have the media saying that there's a bunch of Trump supporters being sexist. And they don't show the good Trump supporters. They don't show the 90. Like I said, in any movement, especially if it contains millions of people, you're going to have some bad people in the bunch. All right, it's not, if you have a movement where you had 25 million people vote for you, or however 50 million, however many it is, millions upon millions of people voting for you, you're going to have a few people in there that are going to be bad people. That's just, if you take the Bernie Sanders supporters, of millions of people, you're going to have a couple people in there who are, avid communists and maybe supported Mao and shit like that. So you're going, so I hate when the media takes a few people in a group of millions and says, and points them out and tries to demonize the whole group. Again, they don't show the good Trump supporters. They don't show, the 99.9% of Trump supporters who aren't racist. And again, they create this whole narrative of, Trump won. Like Van Jones is on CNN saying that, Trump won because of white lash, because of racism, because, whatever, America's tired of a black president, he claims. A lot of people are saying he won because of racism. I mean, I don't believe that. That's not fucking true. I went to a Trump rally about a week or two ago, and I didn't hear one word of racism. I didn't hear the crowd chanting "fuck blacks" or "fuck Muslims," or I didn't hear anybody say anything like that. I mean, I haven't really heard. Like I said, there are a few instances, probably, no doubt. Again, in every group, there's a few bad apples, but this is a media's tactic of trying to demonize people that they don't like. And it didn't work. It did not work. And I refuse to believe that 25% of America is racist. It's just not true. And we don't have a big racism problem in our country. Like I said, are there a few bad apples? Yes. Are there a few bad instances? Yes. But this is not the 1960s. You're not going to walk down the street and see fucking them fire hosing black people, or black people being denied services just because they're black on a regular basis. You don't see this shit, people. I mean, for God's sakes, we have affirmative action, meaning if you're black, you get bigger breaks when you're being accepted for schools and scholarships and shit like that. And even in companies, they will hire minorities more than, like a white person. So shut the fuck up with racism. I'm so sick of hearing about everything being racist and sexist and etc. So the media is still deceiving us after they failed to elect their goddess Hillary Clinton. They are still deceiving us, trying to push the narrative that these Trump supporters are all racist and sexist. I mean, it's very lazy for the media to claim that. It's very lazy for the media to just proclaim that all their, everybody who doesn't agree with them, or everybody who supports Trump or is a conservative, is just a racist. It's very lazy on their reporting, because they don't try to refute facts. They don't like to talk about facts. They don't like to talk about, actual facts. They just like to call people racist. If they can't refute you, they try to censor you, or they try to call you names. So I'm so sick and tired of it. I think most Americans see through it, though. And again, the main point of this video is just to point out that the media will not cover how these so-called anti-Trump protesters are being violent. A lot of them are being violent, breaking the law, being retarded in their messaging, saying fuck Trump. They're protesting, guys, or they're getting out protesting. But yeah, if you actually look at what they're saying, all they could say is fuck Trump. Trump's a racist. Very inarticulate, very dumbed down, very brainwashed by the mainstream media, by sources like BuzzFeed and Now This, and just, garbage news organizations that push terrible lies and deception to their audiences. So they're dumbed down. They don't know the facts. They don't do investigation for themselves. They trust these liberal news organizations that lie all the time. And so the media, again, tries to paint just this great picture of these anti-Trump protesters. They don't show their violence or their, again, law breaking. They don't talk about it. But, if one Trump supporter says white power, oh, look at that, Trump supporters are racist, and without any evidence, they just pick out one person and try to, represent that. A Trump supporter could do this great thing, and they don't. I remember like a Trump supporter saved somebody's life a couple months ago. They had him on a TV show and he was wearing a Trump shirt or some shit like that, and they blurred it out. See, there's your mainstream media deception. They don't show the great aspects of Trump supporters and how, a lot of them are just mad at Obama. They want somebody different. They are very, actually intelligent on policy and what the fuck's going on in this country. They're actually voting for Trump because they're sick and tired. They're fed up with the same bullshit that these career politicians, establishment politicians on the left and the right, Republican and Democrat, have been giving us for the past, really decades. But more specifically, with Bush and Obama just being terrible presidents. That's why people are voting for Trump. They realize he's an outsider. He's a real guy. He's not politically correct. They're not voting for him because they're racist. But people cannot, they're either lying. The mainstream media is either lying, or they are so incompetent that they don't deserve to, be called legitimate news organizations. So it's getting dark here, as we see here, people. So the quality of the video has slowly gone down as I've gone on with this video, because it is getting dark here. But there you go, people. I just needed to talk about that. But so yeah, let me know what you think. I mean, are you really that dumb to think all Trump supporters, or a great majority of them, are racist, sexist? Because I'm so sick of hearing that same narrative in the media. So there you go, people.